And we are live, I think. Are we live? Production folks? We have a staff here, a bunch of folks helping. Yeah, so we're live. Welcome to another episode from the CNCF. This is the chat loop back off. It's something that we're starting here in the CNCF. Well, Jeff and others have done it for a couple of weeks. I did it once. So I'm back with a part two of a project that we did last time. If you want to check part one, we'll put the link in the description wherever you're watching. If you're watching in YouTube or LinkedIn, we'll put the link to part one of Armada, and we're going to be talking about Armada and just hacking a little bit, learning about a project. So a different person will come in and do one of these episodes, and just say something that we're going to do, looking at a project, knowing what it does, try to run it in Kubernetes, and then give feedback to the project. So um, to get started, this is something that I like to do to show people the CNCF landscape, where we have many, many projects as part of the landscape. This doesn't mean that all of them are, projects of the of CNCF. There's different levels: sandbox, incubation, and graduated. So if you click in here, it's also like to show people um, how to filter. These are the CNCF projects, right? If you want to like learn how to navigate these, you can do it like that. And also, if you want to like find one specific one, you can just type in here. So for today, we're going to do Armada. As you can see the description, and we'll talk a little bit about Armada. So Armada is a CNCF project. So you can see it's in sandbox. And one of the cool things that I like about this view on NX is the analysis of the GitHub repos. It says when was the first commit, what type of languages. So this is information that comes from GitHub, and pertaining information on it. Also the CLO monitor. This is information that the project puts for their repo, and some analysis of what they do. So they get a score, and sometimes a lower score. I have done this for projects that I maintain. That was a maintainer, and it might be that some of the folks have been not like gone through the survey and updated with the latest information. So if it has a lower score, don't worry about it. But it's an indication on what that does. So Armada is a multi-cluster batch queuing system for high throughput workloads on Kubernetes. There's many projects similar to this, but today we're going to look at Armada. And they last time I gave them some feedback, and they work on their website. I think the website was here, maybe it wasn't the other one, but you can always go to the main project. And one of the things that we tell folks, and this is also in our evaluation that the CNCF and some of the ambassadors are going to be start doing on evaluating and giving them feedback of like first time experience with the project. So here's the website. Let's go to the website. Sometimes people like to see the README on how to get started. It's a way you can start, but I also like to go to the website, because sometimes people find the website in here. So let me make it a little bit smaller. With the I see what's going on. The way we are sharing my screen has a background. That's fine. So Armada, well, I don't want to reveal a lot of things from part one, but it's a multi-cluster, multi-Kubernetes cluster, job scheduler, CNCF sandbox that we saw, and it implements certain things around scheduling. What's like jobs? Like that's the main thing. It handles certain aspects of the fair use scheduling, um, high throughput, millions of queues of jobs. And Armada allows adding remove clusters from the system without disruption, and then massive scale. So And it's also multi-cluster. One of the things that they pointed out last time that we were looking at this, doing queuing represents a user projects to maintain fairness. A job, which is the unit of work, and a job set, which is a group of related projects. Interesting a bit. Um, I tried the first time, and then this is the second time that I'm giving it a try. Um, One of the piece of feedback I gave last time, if you saw the episode, was I was not able to install it on a kind cluster. The quick start was kind of like in docs, and it was not very clear. So one of the things that we did since then, I went to the the repository. I think I opened an issue. Let's go to GitHub and gave them kind of like what I wanted to see, what feedback. So this is also that you will see some CNCF ambassadors doing. So it's not just showing, but it's active work from the CNCF, reaching out to the projects and giving them some feedback of what a new user would look for. So yeah, this is the issue that we were discussing, and I pointed out like kind of like templates. So if you have a project, so Dijan is one of the main maintainers, very active in the community and helping me and getting the feedback that I'm giving him and going back and forth on what are the things that we needed to fix. So he and the community have been working on improving the installation process and getting something that people can try quickly and evaluate the project. So they created a new official quick start, and this is as new as 1 hour ago. So we'll see. We'll be the first ones tested live. So this is awesome. I like this type of interaction. But I give them like simple things that I personally expect when I go to a website. I want to go to a website, find something called get it started, um, something that they will tell me the commands like, hey, run this command in the kind cluster. In this case, Armada has a CLI. I wasn't sure how to install it, how to configure it. It has dependencies before Armada can run. And also they told me like run an operator. They have an operator. I think this is recently new. So they're suggesting to folks that if they're going to use Armada, use the Armada operator. Don't use maybe if you're going to get started, start with the Armada operator. Don't use the maybe the old docs that they had of like installing it with like plain YAMLs and single instance. Um, and configure. Say I wasn't sure how to configure the Armada CLI. And the Armada CLIs for folks, I also was investigating in the last episode is Armada CLI talks to the Armada server that is running in the Kubernetes cluster, and you interact with it. You don't interact directly with Kubernetes CRs, like storing your desired state or configuration in etcd. You send it to this Armada server. And there's some talks that talk about like why they're doing it in terms of scaling, or how etcd will scale with the number of like reads and writes that they're doing, I think also mentioning like where the project came from. So they have more details on that. Also Grafana UI and Lookat UI. I saw that in the docs, but I wasn't sure how to do that. So we'll do it together here for the next 40 minutes. If you have questions, post them in the comment sections, either in YouTube, LinkedIn, or wherever this place is. We're live. Some other folks already in the chat. I see Djan using here in the chat, and he can answer question basically, right? He's I think he's in LinkedIn. So, but I'll watch the messages. So for this, I think this is a good user experience. I go to a website, and if I'm going through it, right, what it is, what it does, and then I love this thing about the website. Try it out locally, right? Follow the quick start guide to get Armada up and running locally. Perfect. I'm going to do that in a minute. And then the second thing that I like the next best thing is I can become a user, but then if I like the project and solve a problem for my organization or for myself, if it's something that I use in personal, use or hobbyist or things like that, then I can become a contributor, right? And this is something that a lot of people ask us, the CNCF ambassadors, which I'm a CNCF ambassador this year, is how do I get started in CNCF? How do I start as a contributor? How do I start in open source? And the journey for a lot of people looks very similar, as you start by checking out the project, trying it out, and then you start contributing. And it could be either like attending the meetings, or like fixing a typo or documentation. I hear that a lot of people say like that's not useful. Documentation is very useful. One of the most useful things about a project is their documentation. It could be the best project in the world, but if it has bad docs, that's a real big problem. And you can see an example as the Kubernetes project. It has many people working on contributing on docs, and that's why one of the many reasons Kubernetes is a great project. And there, so yeah, this is a good landing zone. Also, if you go to the top, you can see the quick start. Oh, let's take a quick review on the system overview of what this thing, how this thing works. So is the architecture consists of two main components. The Armada server, which I mentioned, is responsible for accepting jobs from users. So be interacting with the Armada server, and deciding what order and on which Kubernetes cluster jobs should run. So again, this is and maybe this is something that we can take a note of, like, I'm going to run it maybe in one cluster, but if they could have like multiple CAN clusters also, that'll be awesome. And that way you can see like how they can like spread the jobs across two clusters, and then kind of like do a map reduce with the results. Users submits jobs to Armada server through an Armada CLI. I think that's the thing that we were talking about. And the reason I know these things already, again, if you are watching, already did part 1, and I talk about all these aspects, I didn't get as far as getting it running. So it's a command line utility that talks to the server. So you can see here, I think I have a tool, I think that can help me point out things. Yeah, let's show you the string. Cool. So the commands go to the Armada server. You send jobs, they get distributed across clusters. Information gets saved into event database. I believe this is not etcd, and then a jobs database, also not etcd. So these states are not safe in etcd. Armada executor, which is the thing that is running in the clusters that do the actual work. So you can have a cluster that is just for control plane, management plane, you call it sometimes. And then you have the extra clusters. So maybe say maybe hub and spoke architecture. The other clusters are the worker clusters, I'll say. And then you send the jobs there. So it says that which there is one instance running on each cluster that Armada connects to. So the Armada executor, I'm guessing that it will connect back to the Armada server, and Dejan can correct me in the chat if I'm saying something correct. We can correct it on the fly. And then works for work, and then reverse progress, right? It lists jobs like, hey, give me jobs to execute, and then it gives progress back. See what else it is. Instance, each Armada instance regular notifies the server how much spare capacity. Oh, it's informing how much capacity it has available and requests jobs to run. Yes. Users of Armada never interact with the executor directly. So the users only work with the control plane cluster and the Armada server, and then the other ones leave whatever they're going to leave is on premise or different networks or different places if they have to do that job there. Job leasing, to avoid jobs being lost in a cluster, executors becomes unavailable. Each job assigned to an executor has an associated timeout. Oh, okay. So the job is given to an executor, and he has a certain amount of time to execute it. Executors are required to check in with the server regularly, and if an executor responsible for running a particular job fails to check in, right? If a cluster dies or something happens within the timeout, then the server, The server will reschedule the job in another cluster or executor, right? There's a concept of jobs and job sets. The job is the most basic unit. Again, this is a Armada job, not a Kubernetes job, represented by Kubernetes pod specification. You put in a pod, like you put in a Kubernetes, that's a Kubernetes resource, but the kind, we'll see it in a second, is represented by Kubernetes pod specification with additional metadata specific to Armada. Armada handles, so it looks like a pod, but it has like maybe more information about Armada. Handles creating, running, and removing containers necessary for each job. So it looks like a job can have more than one container. Hence, Armada is essentially system managing lifecycle set of containerized application representing a batch job. So that's multiple jobs. And Armada workflow is create a job specification, which is a Kubernetes pod spec with a few additional metadata fields. And then you have to submit that. So that's the kind of like, maybe some people may confuse. Not confused, is just how it works. Instead of like you sending that specification to the Kubernetes API, which if you know Kubernetes will be like Kubernetes CTL or kubectl or like the command line CLI, you will send it to the API server. In this case, you're going to use a different utility, Armada CLI, and we'll send it to the Armada server through Armada gRPC or REST. So here's an example of a job. So maybe we'll install it and try to get this one running. An example of a job that sleeps 60 seconds could be represented by following YAML file. So I think this is the portion that you send to the CLI, and the CLI maybe decorates this and then send it to the Armada server. So the information that you need from the user is that this job belongs to a queue, is part of a set. I mentioned at the top was you can do a job or you can do a job sets. So it belongs to a set. And then these are the list of jobs for this set in this queue. And then there's properties like priority. We'll see where they document this spec. It would be good to have a link. There's more examples. So, and then these are the spot specs. So I'm guessing we'll check it out. I'm guessing like maybe since it has an array, this thing can spin up multiple pods, and then this is the information about one pod. And these are like standard Kubernetes pod spec: termination, grace period, restart policy, containers, your typical YAML file. So in this case, I'm running the sleep BCBox image with command sleep for 1 minute, and then requesting memory and CPU request and limit. So very standard a pod spec. And this is what the description queue, which is the available job, which of the available job queues the job should be submitted to. So I'm guessing that maybe you create a queue and then submit a job, or maybe submitting a job with a queue that doesn't exist created. We'll answer that question. I have a lot of questions. Priority is a job priority. Lower values indicate higher priority, which computer scientists or engineer nerds, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 becomes more important. Priority 0. So it's in that order. So if you have like jobs that process really important things, but it's not processing jobs that are very, very important, then you can use that capacity for less important things. But if something important comes in, it needs to jump, like it needs to get executed before the things are lower priority. So that's kind of like the bread and butter of doing batch scheduling and a queuing system. And then job set ID, the jobs with the same job set ID can be followed or canceled in a single operation. I think this is cool. So then that's how you manage them as a group or a set. Again, naming is the most difficult thing in our tech field. Set or group, some people call it set, some like a group. The job set ID has no impact on scheduling. So You can put whatever number in there. Is it a number? It's a string. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Queues and scheduling is explained more in details below. More examples are here. Job events. What a job event? Job events is generated whenever the state of the job changes. So basically that gets recorded when changes submitted to running and then running from completed. So it has the same status of a regular Kubernetes job. Its timestamp messages contain eventing specific information, exit code to debug completed job or events generated by the jobs parts of the same job set are grouped together and published via Redis stream. So this is why Redis is a dependency. I think we saw Redis at the top. And then there are unique streams for each job. So you can like stream the status of these jobs as a set. Each job set to facilitate subscribing. So you don't manage a job the same way you don't manage a pod. You manage a deployment, and the deployment can have X number of pods with whatever your UID or unique ID. I think the same concept can apply here. If you know Kubernetes, right, it's easy to map those concepts into here. There are unique streams for each job set to facilitate subscribing only to events generated by jobs. So if this is a system that is just processing jobs, it could be from multi-tenants, multiple organizations, and then you can tap into the ones that you care about, and it can be done to the API. Or Armada records all events necessary to reconstruct the state of each job. Job, and after the job has been completed, the only information retained about the job is the events generated by. So you can, an event is something that is a fact of life that happens in a certain amount of time. So you can replay what happened with something, right? All the information is there to replay something. So it's like a log. So that's something that you can do events. And familiar with that concept from event-driven applications. I've done it with Kafka. I don't think they use Kafka. I think they use some other technology, but we'll learn what it is. They mentioned at the top, all state relating to Armada server is stored in Redis. So let's get to install it. I think I have way there. So documentation, quick start. If we go to the quick start, the easiest way to install Armada is in the Armada operator. The manages lifecycle components. The operator is available in the Armada repository. Follow the quick start for Armada cluster. So let's do that. So since this, I'll run it from here and then we'll see what happens. What could go wrong? So I have my CLI here. I go to dev, and then maybe I have a folder called Armada. Already exists. Okay. Don't know if this CLI quick start, is this the repo? Let me see. Armada. Yeah, I cloned this repo. Okay, I run this. Let me see if they do main. I don't think I need it, but I'll quit. Okay, check out main. Maybe they use master. They haven't changed. Try again. Check out main. The math main did not match any. No, I don't know how to use Git. It's a matter. It's the. I have the wrong one. Dijan said this is the CLI. I need the operator one. Let me remove it so I don't confuse. I'm not confused. Armada. Yeah. Okay. I think where this. Let me go back. So this took us to. So one thing that they can do is make this link like open a new tab by default, and then I have to do make. Oh, okay, so the first thing is make kind install, and I need to have kubectl helm go, and they need to add kind. So maybe that's something to take a note. To be able to do that, I need to clone it. So the instructions may have a command here to clone it, but in that case, I'm going to just go here and clone it with my preferred way. So that's feedback, so live feedback. And then I can just like run this command, and that's it. And then I'm inside Armada Armada operator. Cool. Let me open VS Code. I like to use VS Code. And this is super big. Let me go to the terminal. And then I can do it from the website, or I can do it from there. Let's do it from the website. So we'll do a my kind. Oh, I'll double check that I have what they say that I need. Interesting. I need Go. So this is feedback. The user may not have Go. See how it goes. I think I have Go. So maybe that's another piece of feedback for an end user that is want to try this stuff. They might not need Go, and it might have problems installing Go. I think asking for kubectl, kind, Helm, those are typical CLIs that the people can install with Brew. Go is kind of higher bar. I already have Go because I do some development for certain other projects. So I have 122, so I'm good there. I also have Helm, and I have kind. Let me check if I already have a kind cluster. Let me know if, yeah, it's S. I didn't. The AI is trying to help me. I'm not letting it help with autocomplete. So that's Q that I'm using. Let me see. We have questions in here. Cool. Yeah, we have some folks watching. So I already have. Oh, I have. Now I'm confused. I don't remember creating kind clusters before. Oh, maybe this was from the last time. I'm very confused now. So let's delete them. I don't remember these clusters being in my computer. So name, thank God for Q and AI for autocomplete. And then this is server. Yeah. So I should not have any clusters now. You know, I have to make sure that I don't have, come on. Yeah. And yeah, Docker, for using kind, if you're new, it's a great way to get a Kubernetes cluster. And you can use it with Docker, Podman, and also Finch. So whatever is your Docker container runtime, you can use kind with. So let's run the command. I think that's what's in the README. Let's use the README here. Let's do this thing. I like to run it like this. So I have kubectl helm kind, and then we run this command. Hopefully it doesn't take that much. And I already took like half of the show just explaining Armada. But let me know if what's useful or not. You can put in the comments your hate messages or your love messages. So it's creating a directory tooling, my home directory. Oh no, here in the bin directory. So it's creating something here, which I like. I like when the CLIs and projects either use the bin in my home directory or a bin in the current directory, which a lot of make files and projects along the CNCF, they do that. And then they adjust the path to execute. So in this case, it's running tooling go install. Let me see. Oh, it's installing kind. Ah, interesting. That's why indeed it mentioned kind, because the make kind all, it downloaded kind 023, which I think is the latest version. But I think this is good because then they know they're using the version that they tested with, plus one on that. Um, it's creating a cluster with a hack kind config.yaml named Armada. So let's take a look at that. So yeah, this is a type of episodes that we're just going over a few things. Um, so hack kind config.yaml. I like to see what it's doing. So this is a kind config project. It's creating a Kubernetes with with three worker nodes, right? Control plane, worker. Um, config patches is doing this one. I'm guessing this one is needed when you use something like nginx. And then these extra port mappings, basically what they do, and we do this in another project that I work with, which is Canoe, CNOE.io. IDP builder is we're mapping host ports. So basically, you're saying the host port in my computer, like the 3000, the 3001, 3002, will map into a container port 3002 and these numbers, but those numbers need to be host port in themselves so they can be host in the control plane node that it has the kubelet and the API server and all those things. And then this is super cool. So every project out there should try to do this. So it created the kind Armada cluster with the context of, so this command kubectl cluster info context kind Armada is a way of like switching your kubectl to that one. Then is installing cert manager, which is very good for a lot of projects to get a certificate. If they're controllers, the kube API server will be talking to them for mutation validation webhook. So you need that. So cert manager got installed. What else can I install? Oh, here it is. These are the cert manager ones, but so that's cert manager, and then it's doing something with Helm. Would it be good? Well, we can do it another time. If you're curious, you can change the commands to like show what are the commands that it's doing. So it's doing some Helm checks. Is repo adds. So I'm guessing it's doing the repo update. So it's installing. Sorry about that pop-ups. It's installing. So it already install one. Let me see which one install. No, I haven't installed anything. So install first one that installs the Armada operator that is located in this gsearch repo. It create namespace, so it can create the namespace, and then this one. So that's the first one. The second one is Prometheus Stack. Help upgrade to Prometheus Stack. So it's there. The next one is installing Postgres. So it might be like one of those databases we were talking about. The state or the other one is stored here. And that's Postgres SQL. The next one is Pulsar. I think Pulsar may be the one for eventing, a queuing system. Or messaging, like the messaging bus. Might be. I'm not sure. We'll check it out. And then Redis, very popular key value store, or the new name in Linux Foundation, I think is key value. I don't remember. There's a question here. Let me see. Is the host port a port on the user's machine? Interesting. I believe so. The host port, one of the two, is matches the both. I think the host port is the one in my computer, and the container port is the one that is the container inside running inside the Kubernetes. But it has, I'll show. This is I'll show the pod.yaml. You will see the container port has that, and it has host port, so it can show up through here. What else? Oh yeah, I will show it once it's up. I'll show what's happening. What else is installing? Oh man, that time flies so fast. Let me see what else got installed. I want to see what it got installed. I think my session should be like 3 hours, like to explain everything. If you have feedback, put it in the post. Maybe I do my own episodes of 3 hours long. So that was Redis. Redis got installed. Oh, this is a nice thing that they do in a hack. Wait for dependency.sh. Perfect. I love these type of installations. So they're waiting for the things to come up. So I don't have to like do kubectl get if stuff is working, or error out if something's bad. And then they're doing a get armada.sh.bash that is installing the CLI, and it got copied here. So I like that they pointed out where it got copied. So in this case, Armada is now available in your path. Well, oh yeah, so it's available in my home directory, which is how everybody knows what home directory looks like. Bin folder, and then it's available in your path only if you put in your, like, this command doesn't affect your path if you know Linux, right? But in my case, I have it in my path because that's a typical place that I put my binaries. And I think that's it. I gave them an A. If everything's working, I give an A. So let me see if the instructions say how to check if everything's working. Actually, this will run the following make targets. I like this that they explain. Can create cluster. So if you just want to run a portion, once you get to use it more, or maybe you're a contributor, this is very helpful, right? Maybe things that you don't have to repeat again. Things if you're changing some CRs or CRDs, and then run it that, and then get Armada. So this is, I give them an A. Like last time I had problems. This time they have an 8 right now. And then the Mano setup. So in this case, I don't have to do the Mano setup, but that's it. What do I do with now? So that's the some feedback, right? When you have a quick start to get it installed, and then give me a hello world. How do I do a hello world with Armada CTL? So let's see how we can do that. Installing Armada. So these are instructions if you want to do it manually. So this one, if you just install the operator, do it like this. Installing Armada. So this is like manually, like Redis progress. I have all those things running. And these are the commands. So that's good. Already have that. Continue installing Armada CLI. Already have that. And then I need to run this command, make create Armada config. I guess. This is where stuff gets confused. Like if you're a new user and you're not sure, this is where you kind of like lose some of the people. So in my case, let me see which Armada CLI I have. I have the one in user Carlos being Armada CTO. So yeah, that's one. And then, oh, I have this file. Let me see if I already have it. So I already have it. So I don't know if I just got created or already had it. So it got created. Yeah, it should have printed that. Did it print something? Maybe I didn't read. Nope. Nope. So it got created. So I don't have to run that. June 20. 5 minutes ago. I lost 5 minutes already. I talk too much. I think that's the problem with my episodes. People will get bored. or amused. And so that's it. This is a mystery. I was looking the other day, like, how do I configure the Armada CLI? Because you can pass that information in here. Where's the command? If I run Armada CTL dash dash help, you can pass some of this information in the help. I think you can pass the URL when you're running a command. The context defining Armada CFG. Oh, nice. So you can have similar config. Oh, here is Armada URL. So I can specify localhost port 3002. So you see this number, right? The number that we need to use is 3002, and that matches the 3002 here, which is this one, host port, container port. So in my computer right now, if I hit port 3000, 3001, they will map to a container that has host port this number. So 3002, I bet, is the Armada server. So if we go down, I don't have a lot of space in here. If I do get all, let's see, get pods -a, I should have something with Armada, which it's here. And one of these is the server. So it's this guy. And it's not working already. So, but just to show someone that what I was talking about, if I do get pods -n Armada, Armada, and I put this guy, it might be that it's not running, maybe because I don't have enough resources, or I need to, I don't know, I'll check. See here, when somebody was asking, explain the container port. So in this, or maybe not, maybe I was incorrect. Well, at least that's how I configure the container port. Host port. Oh, so they're not using the host port trick. Let's see. Oh, let's see how is this stuff. Why it's not working? Get pods -n Armada. And the server is completed. Wonder if it still works. That's another way of doing it. Okay. So Dejan said that instead of using host port on the pod, you can do get services -Armada. I don't know why this thing gives. Is using node port. So you can see here Armada server, and it maps those ports that were here in the container port. Where was it? Here, the 9080, 550. It maps to the 30,000 something node ports. And that's another way of doing it. Basically, this opens a normal, like Kubernetes, how Kubernetes works in the worker node. It will open a port externally and then map. So externally means on that container, which if I do Docker PS, I have a container running here. So it's the control plane one, the first one. So as you can see here, the ports, this is what Kind did. It mapped these ports of like 3000, 3002 to the ones matching that range. So the 3000, 3001, 3002 are map. So that's how it's working. So I'll be talking. So let's check if we have endpoints. So the one way you can do endpoints -n Armada. This thing is not completed correctly. And the server is here, and it doesn't have endpoints. So this thing doesn't have a chance of working. So executor is up. Lookout, I think it's a UI, is up, but this guy is not up. So let's see what's wrong. Let me do kubeNS Armada, and then I do get pods. Service crashing. So do describe, unless the Jan can tell me what is wrong with this. No, Diane, if you're in the chat, you can point out what is wrong, or maybe I can check chat and then you're send me the messages of what's wrong. No. So describe pod and it's Armada server. And maybe it's my computer. Could be my computer. It says backup, restarting for container mastering, pod Armada. And it's just restarting. So it may be just check the logs. So this is how you debug Kubernetes. Armada, and then autocomplete. And it says it's coming up. Listening. These are the ports. These are the things that it's going to talk to. Pulsar, which I think is the messaging system. So Diane says maybe Pulsar or the other stuff, the dependency. So is the reason it's failing is like it time out talking to Pulsar. So we'll check Pulsar and maybe the other stuff sitting in the data. Get pods -n. What's the other place that we saw stuff? I think there was a data one. So here is the problem. It says pending. This ready is pending. Pulsar is working. Oh, they use Zookeeper. Pulsar use Zookeeper. So this one is running, completed, running, pending. Which that's okay. Should not be any problems. Because it's HA, I don't need the second one. And I think it's because this is configured HA. It's like two nodes, but I have 2 nodes. I think I have 2 nodes. Get nodes. Yeah, I have 3 nodes. Postgres, Pulsar, and Redis. So maybe not good. They had an A until stuff doesn't work. Server. I think the server is the first thing we need to get up and running. But we can check the other one. What's the other one that was not working? Ingester? Oh no, event ingester. Describe. Armada. No, describe pod. And again, this quick start got posted 1 hour ago, so there might be something wrong. So it's not fair to say like it's not working. Let's check the ingester and troubleshoot what we can. And is not starting. Let's see, get logs for the same thing. Pulsar and failed to create a consumer. 2 persistent / public. Maybe it's a consumer to Pulsar. So maybe there's a problem with Pulsar. Get pods -n Armada data. I cannot type get pod -add data. Pulsar seems to be working. There's 3 things in Pulsar. Oh, get EP, maybe EP -n data to see if it has endpoints. Yeah, all the endpoints for Pulsar is working. Maybe I need to restart. Now Pulsar is up. Yeah, let's try that. Let's get pods and let's delete and then give it a try, because Pulsar is working and it has endpoints, so it should be up. Oh no, but this thing is restarting already 7 times. So it's not that. Let's try another again. Let's try again. Armada server, just in case. Okay, pods. The server is running and maybe it crashes. Logs, Armada server. Okay, logs. I cannot deal with this thing. Armada. I'll type it out. I don't know why I don't want to autocomplete that thing. Oh, connection is ready and it's connected to Pulsar. So that's the problem. I say sequencing thing. So yeah, something that can be improved in terms of starting up. Maybe they can deploy Pulsar, check that it's up, and then deploy the operator, install operator, or maybe after Pulsar and the other stuff is up, then create the CR for the Armada server. So that's something to improve. Something I can give it a try. We're running. How long? How much time do I have today? 1 hour? I have to check. 7 minutes left. Yep. So let's get the other ones running. It goes for the finish line. So which one else is? Let's check get deployments. Let's do it the proper way. Oh my God. Deployments, right? So we have a few deployments. Maybe they have the same issue. Executor, ingester. So we'll go with the first one. So K, rollout, restart, deploy. And I cannot type. Deploy. Restart it. And then the other one is ingester. And the other one was scheduler. And the other one was ingester. I could have deleted all the pods in that namespace. Anyway. Running. Cool. Okay. So I think we're good. So the next thing we can do is Armada CLI create a queue. Armada CTL get clusters. Create. Does it have a list? Cancel, complete, config, create, docs, get queue. Does it give me other queues? I have to specify the name. I cannot see like what queues are available. Queue report. Accepts one argument on 0. So it looks like it doesn't have a get queue. So let's trust it and let's create a queue to send a job. Armada CTL create queue example. And it timeout. Armada queue example. Fail, connection error rating server preference, TCP 3002, reset by peer. 222. Yeah, 3002. If we check get EP, oh, there's no endpoint, huh? So why is there's no endpoints? Get pods. Did it crash again? It crashed again. Describe. So Armada. I'm giving it a fair chance. Okay, describe. pod is crashing. Yep, same problem, logs. Different thing. Okay. Failed to create producer. So it cannot talk to initialize topics. Pulsar. Topic. Server is not ready. Creation encounter an exception. Or creating a Pulsar producer. So there's a problem with Pulsar. Get pod /n data. And everything is running. All the Pulsar stuff is running. I can even do get deploy -n data. Okay, get found. Get all -n data. So maybe stateful sets and jobs. Yeah, that's what I thought. So here's the stable sets. These are the Pulsar. Pulsar proxy. It's pending. I don't think that's a problem because it has endpoints. For Pulsar proxy, it should have an endpoint. That's the name of the service. So get ep-n data. Pulsar proxy. It has endpoints. And that's the thing that this thing is talking to. I think that's what we saw. Oh, broker. It's talking to the broker, to broker 0. And that's available in the EPs. Broker. Broker.service. Broker, zookeeper, broker. There's no broker 0. This address doesn't exist. Oh, it could be a stateful set. Okay, so it's stateful set /0. The way to find the DNS on that port. And it says it's ready, so I don't know what's the problem. Not enough non-faulty book is available. Error code. Topic creation country pro exception. Creating a producer. You can try again. Just to see if it may work. If not, we'll say that we got this far. Installing it, at least last time, at least we were able to talk to the Armada server, but Armada server cannot create a queue. Interesting. Dijon, do you have any input of what's wrong? Or maybe you already know what the problem is and have a pull request? I think that's it for today. So yeah, check. I'll copy this into the issue. And if you want to know what happens, you can follow the GitHub issue. So let's go to the issue. I think it was in the Armada project, and I'll put this message, and then we'll call it a day and see if the folks in the community will take a look of what's wrong. So I'll open it here. This is the issue 3677. I'll say that I tried this today. New quick start, but hit a problem with creating a queue. This is the error message. I guess I don't need this. And I can put the command to create queue is put shell in here. What's the command? Quick start. And it was like at the bottom after all this was create a queue, and it was basically deploy this example job.yaml, which is located in dev quick start. They should put a link to it in here, but we'll show it from here. Oh, that was not what I wanted to copy. It was just creating the queue, failed creating the queue. Yeah, and then apparently the job was dev, quick start, an example job, and it was a sleep command, alpine, sleeping randomly, and that's it. So it random %60, and it runs. So they have that job in there. They have another job here, which is the same, and then the README. But yeah, I think they have a good workflow. You just need to figure out why it's not working, or maybe something in my computer. I don't know what it is. I just have all the dependencies. I have even Go install, which I think they should not require users to have Go just to give it a try to Armada CTL. Some people have problems installing Go in their computers, or maybe they're not allowed to install Go into their computers. Jeff is saying that the pending pod on the HA. Yeah, I don't know. It should know because it's HA, so I don't think that's the issue. I would not think. So Jeff is saying if I check the data, I saw it there pending, right? Okay. Scribe pod dash n data. It says that I have 0 or 3 nodes available. One node untainted is control plane, 2 nodes state match, but anti-affinity. 0 nodes available. 1 prevention is not helpful for scheduling. No prevention victims found not coming pods. I don't think it's needed because one of the HAs is up and running, and this thing is having troubles talking to Pulsar. So it's creating a producer for Pulsar. I don't think it's creating a producer for Redis. Let me double check. Or maybe I could be wrong. Topic, maybe this is a topic for Redis. It says bookkeeping. Well, that's, I don't know. It might be Redis, but the default one is not finding any available control plane. I don't know what it's anti-affinity. I think it's looking for so if we do get what is deploy, let me see, get all dash n data, and the way Redis server is a stateful set. Redis HA server, so it's a stateful set. So if you do k edit edit dash n data sts Redis, it has a configuration here of anti-affinity. So during scheduler, doesn't want to land. You don't want to have the two pods in the same host name. And then the other thing, which I have more. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's just a normal HA that you don't want the same Reddit spot in the same thing. And the toleration. So it's asking for 3. Where's the replica count? It's asking for 3 replicas, but I only have 2 worker nodes that don't have the control plane toleration. So that's the reason why. Taint, right? The control plane is tainted with node. It has a taint of node schedule. So if you do, you can reduce it to less. Like for example, K. Change the number of replicas. I don't know. I can do I can do it like this, and then it will run fine. But I don't think it's needed because that's just redundancy. And then you have a 2 running. I don't think this will make a difference. We'll just give it a try. Benefit of the doubt. Yeah, no, I think it's something with Pulsar and the Armada server. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think we call it, Jeff, for today because we ran out of time. Yeah, if people want to see the toleration, you can do get node. Get node K get node Armada control plane dash O YAML. I don't want to grab, but this thing has toleration, so that's why I cannot land in that. Can land in the other nodes, not this one. When it was asking to replicas, where is the taints? Should be here somewhere. Cannot find the taints right now, but the taints should be here. Not letting it land in there. Cannot find. There it is. So it has the control plane node has a taint saying like it doesn't want pods to land in there unless they have they can have a tolerate the taint. So all the pods should land in the other 2 nodes. So that's why when you run get pods dash O dash A, there's not that many. Oh, you cannot do that. You cannot list all of them. Okay. Oh, white. My bad. Yeah, not that many are in the control plane unless they have the toleration. So it looks like Core DNS has it, can tolerate, and then I think I saw Prometheus can also node exporter. And yeah, and this is a daemon set. I got the this is a daemon set. Scheduler is for the control plane, and those things are control plane. Okay, so I think we call it an episode. Hopefully, it was good in terms of like seeing Carlos how he debugs Kubernetes, logs, spots, describe namespaces. At least you learn how to troubleshoot it. But I'm not an expert on Armada, so we'll see the community members fix the quick start, and hopefully by the time you watch this later in the week, you'll be able to run the command and get it up and running and get a job schedule. So until next time,